Hi, I'm Ramiro. Welcome to my channel. So, Social Security plays a very important part in our retirement, but people often have a lot of questions about Social Security. So, let's talk about it today. When I'm working with my clients on their retirement planning, Social Security plays a vital role in their strategies. So, like when to file and how to file, these are questions that we work through because they can have a profound effect on your retirement lifestyle. Now, I've taught Social Security classes for a number of years, and those classes range anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. So obviously, I'm not going to have this video last that long. So what I'm going to do is give you a condensed version of my class, and I hope it provides some helpful information to you. Now, I prepared a little presentation, and I'm going to share that with you. All right? Okay, let's talk about Social Security and what you need to know. First thing, you got to be really, really careful of where you get your information and who you get it from. I mean, you could get it from friends, you could get it from the internet, advisors, and other professionals. But whoever you get it from, you want to make sure that it's current and that it's accurate. As a matter of fact, I was meeting with a gentleman one time, and he had filed at age 62. So I asked him, why did you decide to file at age 62? And he said, oh, well, my brother-in-law recommended that I file at 62. And I said, well, good. Okay. Well, is your brother-in-law an advisor? Is he a CPA? Does he work for Social Security? He said, no, he works for Home Depot. So my point is that whoever you work with or whoever you're getting your information from, make sure it is correct, because you can't do this again. You get one shot, and if you get it wrong, well, then you're stuck for the rest of your life. So let's take a little history lesson. Back in August 14th, 1935, President Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act. And so from that point on, Social Security became a very important part of our life. But the way it works is there are current workers that are paying into the system, and then there's beneficiaries or people that are receiving a Social Security benefit. Back in 1940, the ratio of covered workers to beneficiaries was 159 to 1. Well, fast forward to 2013, and that ratio drops down to 2.8 to 1. And projections for 2050 show that that ratio is going to go down even a little more, and it'll be 2 to 1. Well, obviously, you can see where this is going, and that could create some issues to the system. If you've got not enough people paying in relative to people pulling out, well, you can go belly up pretty quick. And so that's why a lot of people ask these days, is the Social Security system broke? And some people say, oh my God, I'm going to file as soon as I can because who knows how long it's going to last. And I'm going to make sure I get some money. Well, in answer to the question, is Social Security broke? No, it's not. Well, at least for now, anyway. So latest results and latest studies show that the reserves are good until 2034. But after that point, if nothing changes, then the program's only going to be able to satisfy about 77% of the program costs. So think about that. That means that we're not going to get the benefit that people are getting today. Now, the good news is that Congress is doing things to shore up the Social Security system. So some of the ideas up for discussion is extend the age for when people can qualify, make us have to be older before we can qualify, or water down the benefits, reduce the benefits. But I can tell you this, something is going to change, and Social Security is going to get watered down. Now, for those people that are already on Social Security or that are going to be filing relatively soon, I would say within the next 3 years or less, or maybe even 5 years or less, I don't think they have to be worried about anything changing for them. It's workers that are going to be filing later than that. So let's keep going. Who's eligible for Social Security? Well, first things I want to cover and make it very clear, it's not a welfare program, okay? And not everyone qualifies for Social Security. For instance, there's a lot of teachers and government workers that don't qualify for a Social Security benefit. And the reason is that you have to pay into the system. You have to pay through taxes, FICA taxes, and you need at least 40 quarters or 10 years in order to be eligible to get a benefit out. You also have to age into the program. In other words, the earliest that you can qualify is 62. Now, there's also spousal benefits, which is really nice. So if you have a spouse that hasn't worked, or a spouse that maybe hasn't worked enough, they are still eligible to receive a Social Security benefit. Also, those of us that become disabled either through a sickness or injury, there are some benefits that are available to them too. Let's continue. So, when is the best age to claim your Social Security benefit? Is it at 62 or should you wait to 70? The answer is there is no best time because it really comes to a personal choice. There are some things, though, you need to consider, and that is what's your personal situation? Do you have other sources that you can rely on? Do you plan on working until, the end? What's your personal situation on that? Also, how long do you live or how long do you think you're going to live? If you have longevity in your family, maybe you don't, well, that can have an impact on when you decide to file. What's your employment status? Are you going to continue to work until you can't work anymore? Are you going to continue to work after you file for benefits? Some people want to retire as soon as possible. Some people want to just continue to work until they can't work anymore. And lastly, is there other available income to you? Like, do you have a pension that you can rely on? Do you have other assets that you could draw from until you file for Social Security? So, like I said, it's a personal choice. So let's talk about your Social Security benefit. When you decide to start planning to receive your Social Security benefit, there's a couple of terms you need to be really familiar with. And there's also some things you need to understand about your Social Security benefit. First off, it's guaranteed. Once you file, you are guaranteed to have that benefit for the rest of your life. And once you've paid into the system and you meet your 40 quarters, then you're guaranteed to get a benefit. The other thing is that it's inflation adjusted. You get a cost of living adjustment every year. It's tax preferred. This is one of the most tax efficient benefits that we have in our retirement life. And you get a lifetime of income. It'll never go away until the day you pass. So 2 things you need to know about Social Security when you start to file. FRA, that stands for full retirement age. Also PIA, that stands for primary insurance amount, or the dollar amount that you're going to receive from the Social Security Administration. So let's talk about that. So full retirement age depends upon when you were born. If you were born in 1937 or earlier, your FRA is 65. If you were born between 1943 and 1954, then your FRA is 66. And as you can see on that table, it changes for everybody depending upon when you were born. People born in 1960 and later, FRA is 67. PIA, which is your primary insurance amount, is the dollar amount that you get at your full retirement age. So remember, just to recap, you need to have worked at least 10 years or 40 quarters of paying into FICA. And the formula that they use, Social Security Administration, to figure out your PIA is they average your top 35 years of working and paying into the Social Security system. So for years that you didn't work or for whatever reason you did not contribute, those years are just counted as zeros. So what I'd recommend that you do is find your benefit information online. And it's very simple. Just go to this website here, create an account. It looks something like this. Once you do, you're going to be able to research your earnings history. You're also going to be able to view your benefits. And then you're going to be able to check your PIA. Now, when you do go on there, you're going to be able to find 3 really important numbers and figures you need to take a look at. The first one you're going to see is your PIA at your FRA. The next one it's going to show you is what your benefit will be at age 70. And the third, it'll show you what your benefit will be if you file early at age 62. These are really important planning figures when it comes to your retirement. One thing to remember, and this is very important, if you file early, you're going to get a smaller benefit because the government kind of penalizes you for filing early. If you file later, well, the government's going to pay you a bonus and they're going to give you a bigger benefit. So let's take a look at this example. If somebody's FRA is 66 years of age and they decide to file at age 62, their monthly benefit payment is going to be reduced by 25%. If they postpone to age 70, they get an 8% bonus for every year after their FRA. So if they file at 70, their monthly benefit is going to increase by 32%. Now take a look at that huge difference between age 62 and 70. That's a 57% difference in the monthly payment that will remain with you for the rest of your life. So it's really important to decide on when is the best time to file in your particular situation. And you only get one shot to do this. There are no do-overs. Now, I will make this information available to you, and that is if you do make a mistake and you have an extenuating circumstance and you want to get a chance to redo this, you can, as long as you reach out to the Social Security Benefit Administration within 12 months of filing and then file Form 521. If you do that, and you also pay back any benefits that you received up to that point, then you get to do a do-over. But you only get one do-over in your lifetime. So I'm saying it's so important to get this right. So if you claim early, and that's any age before your FRA, and you're still working, then you got to be real careful about this because your Social Security benefits are subject to an annual earnings test, and penalties may apply. So let's take a look at that. What does that mean? Well, what counts towards your annual earnings test? Well, any W-2 wages, any commissions, or net profits from your business. What's not counted is IRA distributions, rental income, lottery winnings, believe it or not, stock options, and then maybe some severance pay. But let's take a look at the 2024 earnings test right now. So if you earn any more than $22,320 a year, your benefit will be reduced by $1 for every $2 over that annual limit. Now, during the year you reach your full retirement age, you can earn up to $59,520, but your benefit will be reduced by $1 for every $3 over that annual limit. Now, once you reach the month of your full retirement age, there is no limit on your earnings. But you got to be real careful with this because there was a time when I was visiting with this lady or working with this woman, and she had filed early and she continued to work full time, and nobody told her about this. And it was not a good situation for her. She had to pay back a huge amount of money to the Social Security Administration. Was not a good situation for her. Let's continue. As I mentioned before, there is a spousal benefit for Social Security. Now, you must be currently married in order to qualify for it. And the way it works is like this. The spouse can get up to 1/2 of the PIA of the other spouse. Now, it will be reduced if the spouse claims before their full retirement age. Now, how to claim? Well, the other spouse must claim their own benefit first, and then this allows for a spousal claim. Remember, you can't switch once you do this. There's no do-overs. So let's take a look at an example, Tom and Mary. Now, remember one thing too, and that is that delayed retirement credits are deferrals. If you defer to a later age, those don't apply to the spousal benefit. So let's take a look at Tom and Mary. Tom's PIA is $1,800 a month, but he's currently getting $2,088. So what does that tell you? That means that Tom must have filed after his FRA. So he's getting a higher benefit. So Mary claims her spousal benefit at her FRA. And so what is she entitled to? Tom's getting the $2,088, but Mary gets $900 because remember, Tom's PIA is $1,800. So those additional benefit amounts that Tom's getting because he deferred don't apply to the spousal benefit. Let's keep going. There is a survivor benefit to Social Security. If you're a married couple, the survivor gets the bigger benefit of the two, but not both. So let's continue work with Tom and Mary. Tom's receiving $2,088 a month. Mary's receiving her spousal benefit of $900. So if Tom dies, what will Mary get? She's going to get his $2,088, but she will not continue to get her $900 benefit. And remember, the DRCs don't apply. Let's continue. Question I get all the time: can divorcees file on ex-spouses? And the answer is yes. But you've had to be married for at least 10 years, and then you have to have been divorced for 2 years. And you cannot remarry before the age of 60. I have worked with some seniors, a lot of seniors in my lifetime, and believe it or not, a lot of them go ahead and wait to get married until after age 60 so they can get this benefit. So something to consider, huh? So is our Social Security benefit taxed? And the answer is yes. It is taxed. It's taxed at the federal level, and some states also tax it as well. And it's taxed as ordinary income. So how is Social Security taxed? Well, there's this little formulation called provisional income. And how is that calculated? Well, they take your adjusted gross income, they add any tax-exempt income or like tax-free interest. They also include excluded foreign income, and then they take 50% of whatever your Social Security benefit is. Only 50%. That's why it's tax favored. And then that equals your provisional income. So let's take an example here. A married couple, Bob and Sue. They're both receiving $30,000 each from Social Security. Remember, the provisional income formula only counts half of Social Security. So if they're getting $60,000 a year, they're only having to count half of that, or $30,000 for tax. So what percent of Social Security is taxed based on income? Well, when Social Security first came out in 1935, the government promised that they would never tax Social Security. So it was 0%. Well, that lasted till 1983, and Congress decided that they want to tax 50% of income from Social Security. And then 1993, Congress said, well, let's go ahead and tax 85% of Social Security benefits. Well, let's see how that actually works. So if a couple who's filing joint, if they earn less than $32,000 on that formula that we just went through, then 0% of their Social Security benefit is subject to taxation. If they earn anywhere from $32,000 to $44,000, though, then 50% of their Social Security benefit is subject to taxation. And if they earn more than $44,000, then 85% of their Social Security benefit is subject to taxation. Now, one thing to keep in mind when we say these figures here, it's not 85% of their Social Security benefit is going to be lost to taxes. It just means that 85% of that benefit will be subject to income tax at whatever marginal tax bracket that they're in. Okay, so keep that in mind. So just a quick review of everything that I discussed. If you don't remember anything else, just remember two things. If you claim early, you're going to get less money and you're going to be subject to an earning test. If you claim later, you're going to get more money and you don't have to worry about that earnings test. Okay, so I hope this has helped. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel welcome to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Until then, have an awesome and fantastic day. And remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and click notifications. Take care.